Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 7, Text 7.
Yes, Mataji.
Tato midvamsam amantriya shunashira saharshibhi bhuyastadeva yajanam samidvad vedaso yayu. Thereafter, Bhrigu, the chief of the great sages, invited Lord Shiva to come to the sacrificial arena. Thus, the demigods, accompanied by the sages, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, all went to the place where the great sacrifice was being performed. Purport: the whole sacrifice arranged by King Daksha had been disturbed by Lord Shiva. Therefore, all the demigods present there, along with Lord Brahma and the great sages, specifically requested Lord Shiva to come and revive the sacrificial fire. There is a common phrase, Shiva Hina Yajna. Any sacrifice without the presence of Lord Shiva is baffled. Lord Vishnu is Yagneshwara, the supreme personality in the matter of sacrifice. Yet in each yajna, it is necessary for all the demigods, headed by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, to be present. I mean, those, yeah. Vidhaya katsnena cha tad yad aha bhagavan bhava sandadu kasya kaena savaniya pashoshira. After everything was executed exactly as directed by Lord Shiva, Daksha's body was joined to the head of the animal meant to be killed in the sacrifice. That is why goat, because they had kept goat for sacrificing, is it? This time, all the demigods and great sages were very careful not to irritate Lord Shiva. Therefore, whatever he asked was done. It is specifically said here that Daksha's body was joined to the head of an animal, a goat. They dare not say anything. First of all, he's agreeing that Daksha should be revived. It's only by his mercy, only he can bring him back to life. And so they agreed to whatever he said, bring one goat's head, and they put it. Sandhiyamane shirasi daksho rudra vivikshita sadhya supta ivo tastau dadrishe chagrato mridam. When the animal's head was fixed on the body of King Daksha, Daksha was immediately brought to consciousness. And as he awakened from sleep, the king saw Lord Shiva standing before him. Purport: the example given here is that Daksha got up as if he were awakened from deep sleep. In Sanskrit, this is called Supta Ivotastau. The meaning is that after man awakens from sleep, he immediately remembers all the duties which he must execute. And Daksha was killed, and his head was taken away and burnt to ashes. His body was lying dead. But by the grace of Lord Shiva, as soon as the head of a goat was joined to the body, Daksha came back to consciousness again. This indicates that consciousness is also individual. Daksha actually took another body when he took on the head of a goat. But because consciousness is individual, his consciousness remained the same, although his bodily condition changed. Thus, bodily construction has nothing to do with the development of consciousness. Consciousness is carried with the transmigration of the soul. There are many instances of this in Vedic history, such as the case of Maharaja Bharata. Actually, this also helps to understand, because some people have this doubt that when heart transplantation takes place, then how the whole thing changes, another heart comes, then how is this person, how does it, where is the soul and all that? Has the soul gone away because it's somebody else's heart? It is just like that, just like here, because consciousness is separate from the body. The heart only has changed, that is just the organ. But the soul is seated again in another organ, no problem. Thus, bodily construction has nothing to do with the development of consciousness. Consciousness is carried with the transmigration of the soul. There are many instances of this in Vedic history, such as the case of Maharaja Bharata. After quitting his body as king, Maharaja Bharata was transferred to the body of a deer, but he retained the same consciousness. He knew that although formerly he was King Bharata, he had been transferred to the body of a deer because of his absorption in thinking of a deer at the time of his death. In spite of his having the body of a deer, however, his consciousness was as good as it was in the body of a King Bharata. The arrangement by the Lord is so nice that if a person's consciousness is turned into Krishna consciousness, there is no doubt that in the next life he will be a great devotee of Krishna, even if he is offered a different type of body. So we see many small children, they are so very dedicated, very devoted, even without telling them much. They themselves are attracted. So they must have been very great devotees in their previous lives. Okay, so Daksha was immediately, first of all, fixing the body to, joining two bodies, goat body with human body. This is something no plastic surgeon, nothing has been attempted or surgeon can perform. It has not yet performed. Fixing a dead body and fixing another head. This is all very mystical and spiritual, and only Lord Shiva could do that. Tada Vrishadvajadvesha. Of course, spiritually advanced people also, other than Shiva, they could do that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did that. I don't know if other people, Shukracharya and all Brihaspati, they all also can revive people from the dead. Tada Vrishadvajadvesha Kalilatma Prajapati Shivavalokad Abhavach Charadrada Ivamala. At that time, when Daksha saw Lord Shiva, who rides upon a bull, his heart, which was polluted by envy of Lord Shiva, was immediately cleansed, just as water in a lake is cleansed by autumn rains. Purport. Here is an example of why Lord Shiva is called auspicious. If anyone sees Lord Shiva with devotion and reverence, his heart is immediately cleansed. King Daksha was polluted by envy of Lord Shiva. And yet, by seeing him with a little love and devotion, his heart immediately became cleansed. In the rainy season, the reservoirs of water become dirty and muddy. But as soon as the autumn rain comes, all the water immediately becomes clear and transparent. Similarly, although Daksha's heart was impure because of his having slandered Lord Shiva, for which he was severely punished, Daksha now came to consciousness, and just by seeing Lord Shiva with veneration and respect, he became immediately purified. So it's all a question of just adjusting our consciousness. All the work which we have to do, hard work we need to do, is over here in the consciousness. We think, we have to work hard with our body, mostly tapasyas. We think that is where, that is how we'll make spiritual progress. But actually, all that culminates. Finally, people who do lot of tapasya, yoga, everything, all kinds of things, they control their breathing, mind. Finally, what comes to the thing? The last part is what? The last obstacle for any spiritualist to get perfection, to come out of this material universe. And that is only false ego. The last snare is false ego, right? Mind, intelligence, false ego. That is what is the last stretch of the material world, is this false ego. And in our body also, there are so many tapasyas we may do with the body, with the mind, with the intelligence. Finally, you get great sages also, very intellectual, everything. They're fully self-controlled. Mind is also in this thing. Still, why they don't go? Why are they not liberated? Because false ego is there. A little bit of false ego attachment. I am this. They're very happy. I'm a great sage and I'm very intelligent. I know everything. Something. This false ego is very, very difficult to overcome. And Daksha also, in spite of having so much knowledge, he had this ego attachment. I'm Daksha and I'm so great and so on. And he compared himself with Shiva, and he couldn't, because when you have that kind of attitude, you will see everyone less than yourself. You'll find faults with others. You cannot see because a person with false ego cannot stomach it that somebody else has got all better qualities. They can't stomach it, but we have to stomach it, because nobody is equal and there will always be somebody better than you, somebody, um, and you're better than some people. So that is what Guru Maharaj shared. He said that he told Guru Prabhupada very humbly, Prabhupada, I'm the worst, I'm the most fallen soul. And Prabhupada said, you're not the most of anything. Even fallen also, we cannot claim I'm the most fallen. There are people worse than us, or more fallen than us, even in that. So I was trying to say, don't try to be the most of anything. It's impossible. Always there'll be some people, or at least in some qualities, they will be better. And nobody is fully better than everybody's got some qualities in which they're better than others. But if you start looking that I want to be the best, that's a very bad thing. We never had that in Vedic culture. Gurukula system, they didn't, there were some products, I mean, some children who outshone others. That is okay individually, and people would say, oh, he's very smart. But there was no competition and all that. Who comes first? Who comes second? Ranking? All this nonsense never existed. Because what is education for? Education is not to, of course, these pundits and all became proud and then they would debate and try to show off. The tendency is there, but in the schools, it's not encouraged. Everyone study for a specific purpose. And the most important purpose is self-realization. So in self-realization, why should you say I'm a better yogi than you? Though it is so deeply ingrained in us, the falsity goes there, that even yogis and all, like Vishwamitra was trying to compete with Vasishta and say, I'm better than, I should become equal to him or even better. And then Vasishta, but he kept on facing with so many problems. Finally, Vasishta told him, why you are not successful is because you have a wrong attitude. Why do you want to compete? And that's mode of passion, and that is why you're finding all, you're not able to realize. Then once he gave up that, and very humbly he said devotional service is the topmost perfection. He became, with the competitive spirit, he came up to Brahma Rishi also. Then he wanted Vasishta to acknowledge that he had become a Brahma Rishi. So Vasishta said, yeah, you are a Brahma Rishi, but there is something higher than this. Then, oh, what is that? He wanted the topmost thing. Then bhakti is higher than that. I mean, you cannot achieve that in this particular mood. So he was ready to shift, change. So that is the most difficult thing. You find even for in among devotees also, there are fantastic devotees who've become so expert in their services, very intelligent. They can preach very nicely, speak nicely, do all those things they will do. But once thing, this false ego, if they've not overcome, it's terrible. After that, their devotional service is curbed, because it doesn't grow beyond a certain point, because of this false ego. We will be tested and we have to shun, we should say no to false ego. I don't want. From the very beginning, we have to keep on understanding that false ego is the worst enemy of anyone. Like we saw Daksha, what a nice situation he had, and he spoilt it all by his indulging his false ego. And even in our, we can see so many people's careers are finished because of false ego. And or relationships, in family relationships, all just divorce and all kinds of bad this thing feelings between families, all because of false ego. Terrible, most dreadful enemy number one, and which doesn't allow us any peace of mind. is false ego. Why should we get that sense gratification that I am the best? Nobody is better than me. That's like a demon. Ravana only said, Ravano na bhuto na bhavishyati. What did he say? Um, Something. I'm the best, what did he say? Na bhuto na bhavishyati. Nobody in right now or in the future will there be anybody like me. So this is one sense gratification. It is not true. Nobody is the best. So why should we even try? That means we are actually competing with Krishna. Only Krishna is like that, is incomparable. Nobody can go anywhere near him. He is the topmost, he is the best. Only Krishna. So if we want to be the best and the topmost and all, we are competing to be like Krishna. No, unchallenged. I'm the best. Nobody is like me. So this is a disease actually, and this is the root cause of envy. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the root cause. Because he wants quick results. He didn't want slowly do tapasya and then you do breath control, and then intellectually you do some things and finally come to the conclusion that, okay, Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedya. Why all that? Immediately he said, chant Hare Krishna, Krishna is the goal. Then chant in a humble state of mind, thinking yourself more more um, humble than a blade of grass and more tolerant than a tree. That's all. He gives all short instructions, which are, if you just do that, because he goes to the root cause of our disease and says, just cure that, everything else will fall into line. Don't bother about other things, because even big sages are stuck up over there because they have not worked on their false ego. Whereas a devotee, I mean, in today's, Gaudiya devotee of following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lineage, chanting Hare Krishna mantra and he only said chant Hare Krishna, do Vaishnav Seva and do Jeev Daya. That's all. That will take care. You'll get liberated. Because he went to the root cause, the final thing, false ego. Just work on that. Become a humble servant and simply serve. You'll feel blissful. That is our original status, not to keep trying to show I'm better, I'm better, I'm better. And that is the cause of all the stress and people suffering so much. It's all because of that. The minute we just take a humble thing, let me do as much service I can. You've become so happy, then Krishna will raise us to do more and more things. Automatically, all that will be there. We'll get all wonderful things simply by changing our consciousness from wanting to be the Lord, which is artificial, and instead you want to be a humble servant. Then Krishna will raise us. Whatever we need to do, He will make us do. And it will not even make us proud. And we will want, oh, Krishna, wherever you want me to put me. I'm just want to serve you. That's all. Whether you want me here or in the spiritual world or in the hell, wherever, I'm okay. That is the state in which we'll be really happy and our life is really successful. Otherwise, see how people are burning they get a topmost position, still it's not enough. Number two is also not enough. Number one, I want to be number one. And for that sake, they'll be waiting when this number one will leave and go and I'll jump. And then there'll be so many other aspirants for that number one. And then they will all be plotting and scheming and trying to pull the other person down. Constantly it's happening. It's really terrible. And they get all ulcers and heart attacks and blood pressure, just meditating on this one position. For that sake, they're ready to even do all kinds of sinful activities or even murder sometimes just to be on that position. How horrible it is. And that is what we can see from Daksha's thing. He is supposed to be a lawgiver. He gives laws for us like Manu and all that. And he is such an important person. And because of he didn't control his false ego and he committed a big offense to Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva is so great. Like all Vaishnavas, sometimes Vaishnava Prad is the worst. You do Vaishnava Prad, then you suffer so much. But again, you see that Vaishnava from a different perspective. Then by serving them, then you get all blessings. So for Lord Shiva is so exceptional that even with a little devotion towards him, then one gets completely purified. With veneration and respect, he became immediately purified. Not after some time, but immediately Lord Shiva just, that's why we need to develop at least a little bit of veneration for him. We may not have, because we have not been used to worshipping him. Maybe some people may have worshipped him earlier, but some people, especially, we've been telling that, no demigods, no demigods. So we start thinking, oh, demigods are some competitors of Krishna. But when we understand how great he is and just have a little bit veneration, then our heart will be purified, cleansed. Bhavastavaya kritadhir nasaknod anuragata out kantyad bhaspakalaya samparetam sutam smaran. King Daksha wanted to offer prayers to Lord Shiva, but as he remembered the ill-fated death of his daughter Sati, his eyes filled with tears, and in bereavement his voice choked up, and he could not say anything. Imagine, he was a father and he loved his daughter, but only false ego came and spoilt everything. And now, without the false ego, he again remembered his daughter Sati. And so his eyes filled with tears. And now he must be feeling like a worm for being the cause of his daughter's death. Now he's normal, come back to his normal senses. Krichrat samstabhya cha mana prema vihvalita sudhi Shashamsa Nirbyalikena Bhavenesham Prajapati. At this time, King Daksha, afflicted by love and affection, was very much awakened to his real senses. With great endeavor, he pacified his mind, checked his feelings, and with pure consciousness began to offer prayers to Lord Shiva. So King Daksha was actually, he's also a soul, and he was a very great soul. He was also a great devotee of Vishnu. And only because of that false ego, he had become so crazy. And now, because he was feeling all those love and affection, and so he was in his normal senses. And so he pacified his mind and with pure consciousness began to offer prayers to Lord Shiva. Daksha uvacha Bhuyan anugrah aho bhavata krito me dandastvaya mai brito yad api pralabdha na brahma bandhushu cha vam bhagavan avagnya tubhyam harescha kuta eva dhritavrateshu. King Daksha said, "My dear Lord Shiva, I committed a great offense against you, but you are so kind that instead of withdrawing your mercy, you have done me a great favor by punishing me. You and Lord Vishnu never neglect even useless, unqualified brahmanas. Why then should you neglect me, who am engaged in performing sacrifices?" Purport. Although Daksha felt defeated, he knew that his punishment was simply the great mercy of Lord Shiva. He remembered that Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu are never neglectful of the Brahmanas, even though the Brahmanas are sometimes unqualified. According to Vedic civilization, a descendant of a Brahmana family should never be heavily punished. This was exemplified in Arjuna's treatment of Ashwatthama. Ashwatthama was the son of a great Brahmana, Dronacharya, and in spite of his having committed the great offense of killing all the sleeping sons of Pandavas, for which he was condemned even by Lord Krishna, Arjuna excused him by not killing him because he happened to be the son of a Brahmana. The word Brahma Bandhusu used here is significant. Brahma Bandhu means a person who's born of a Brahmana father, but whose activities are not up to the standard of the Brahmanas. Such a person is not a Brahmana, but a Brahma Bandhu. Daksha proved himself to be a Brahma Bandhu. He was born of a great Brahmana father, Lord Brahma. But his treatment of Lord Shiva was not exactly Brahminical. Therefore, he admitted that he was not a perfect Brahmana. Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu, however, are affectionate even to an imperfect Brahmana. Lord Shiva punished Daksha.
Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Not as, yes?
Sorry to interruption, Mataji. Can I ask a small question?
Okay.
Just now I heard you mention that Arjuna has forgiven Ashwadhama because he was a son of a Brahmana. So just to have some better clarity for me, Mataji, Brahmana's son, what we are talking about, is not by birth, no one is a Brahmana, right? So Ashwadhama cannot be considered as Brahmana because he's a son of a Brahmana.
He was, yeah, he's not a Brahmana, he's a Brahma Bandhu.
Right. So, but when we hearing now, because he was son of a Brahmana, he was been forgiven and not been punished. So
He
that
was punished. He was punished, but not heavily punished. But he was not killed. But he has to do tapasya. Na? Entire Kali Yuga is sitting and doing tapasya now. He was not forgiven. Heavily punished. No, he was not chopped off. That's all. Kshatriya means chop. Brahmana, he was not. His head was not chopped off. Krishna said, "Okay, chop off his hair." That is a great this thing, insult for a Kshatriya, because his mentality was more like a Kshatriya than a Brahmana, a fallen Kshatriya. So that way, and then how much he has to do? Entire Kali Yuga is sitting, wandering around, doing tapasya.
Okay. Okay, Mata. Thank you, Mata. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, the madi was here in his head, so that madi was taken off actually from his head, right? That some madi was there on his head.
Okay.
Yeah, that is
some
also
way
I heard.
in which he was just a token, like not physically punished so much, but insulted him very badly, and then that's it. He didn't get liberation. All others, even Duryodhana got the liberation, but Ashwatthama did not get. He's still hanging around. Many people have cited him in North India, I know.
Yes.
Ashwatthama is still here. And at the end of Kali Yuga, he would be purified, and then he will become like a sage or whatever in Satya Yuga. So he has to really do a lot of, it's not easy. 432,000 years of tapasya.
I was watching one video, Mataji. Some people in MP, they saw him, even a Muslim saw him. So he's very tall actually. He was saying it's more than, I think, 12 feet or something. Very, very healthy and bodily ready. So he got scared. So he all time he asked for some lep, chandan lep, so that he can apply to the body to get some relief. Otherwise, he's always in the pain actually.
Oh,
All
Ashwatthama.
time. Yeah.
Oh, he was in pain.
He's all time he's in pain. So if he always look for something which can give him like little bodily pacify, something like some chandan or something. He asks for that actually whenever he meets somebody.
Oh, 12 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. They've seen him.
Yes.
So that is what.
Mataji,
Done with Pranam. Yes.
Mataji, it's not only the son of Brahmana, but son of Guru also like that, right, Mataji? They considered him because he's the son of Guru.
Yeah, for Ashwatthama, Draupadi didn't. Yeah, also this thing, Guru special, because that is there. But generally, even for all Brahmanas also, they're saying. Both.
They say that, right, Mataji, wherever Ashwatthama, some bad smell is there and all, Ashwatthama is moving, like that they say, he's around. Because his body is full of that, these things, right, Mataji, worms and all, because of the curse. They say that, Mataji, Ashwatthama is full of wounds and all, because he's suffering because of the curse. So wherever some very bad smell is there, without reason, Ashwatthama is there. Something I heard, Mataji, like that.
Yeah, could be. That's why he has to do tapasya. Only 5,000 years over, na. Another 427,000 years of tapasya he has to do. So what he did was horrible. After getting such opportunity to be in such a privileged privileged family, his father, and because of Ashwatthama only, Dronacharya also fell down. Too much attachment to him. And first of all, because of his attachment to him, and also he joined with Duryodhana and all that. He was more, attracted to them. So after getting all that opportunity, and just to please Duryodhana, he went and committed the heinous crime of killing all his Pandava's sons. So his mentality is very, very bad. When a person who is privileged and who's got a lot of good qualities, he does a mistake, then his punishment will be even more severe. So that is why he has to suffer a lot.
And
And
Mataji's crime was so severe when he killed all those son of Draupadi. He thought Duryodhana will be very pleased, but Duryodhana, even he was Bhospalan, he never approved or appreciated that. He said you did wrong actually.
yeah, and that is why Duryodhana got liberated, but not him.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the people who saw him, Mataji, they were saying he looks so terrifying that they got scared and they were shocked and they couldn't become conscious after some time. It took some time to revive them. I don't know why is that, because of the way he looks or whatever it is. And then the I can find out those videos and share with you, like the people who are telling the experience, what they saw actually. And they were
That's
like, they some got sick, some got, and it took some time to revive them actually.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, share the video. It would be interesting to know.
And also, Mataji, he will be suffering with leprosy, right, Mataji, whole life?
I don't know, leprosy. They're saying, I don't think it's leprosy, because leprosy eats into your flesh now. How then for so many years, how we will stay like that? I don't think it's leprosy.
I remember like that's I read that. I remember. I don't know. I will check one more time.
Okay. So Daksha proved himself to be a Brahma Bandhu. He was born of a great Brahmana father, Lord Brahma, but his treatment of Lord Shiva was not exactly Brahminical. Therefore, he admitted that he was not a perfect Brahmana. Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu. Actually, Daksha is more fortunate. His head got cut off, and then he got a new head, and immediately he was purified by seeing Lord Shiva. Ashwatthama is there, if actually he had been cut off, his head was chopped off, maybe a lot of his bad karma would have gone off. And then he wouldn't have had to stay for so long doing tapasya. But maybe because he was more impure, that's why he has to suffer like that. Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu, however, are affectionate even to an imperfect Brahmana. Lord Shiva punished Daksha not as one does his enemy. Rather, he punished Daksha just to bring him to his senses so that he would know that he had done wrong. Daksha could understand this, and he acknowledged the great mercy of Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva towards the fallen Brahmanas, including even himself. Although he was fallen, his vow was to execute the sacrifice, as is the duty of the Brahmanas, and thus he began his prayers to Lord Shiva. So Daksha must have been in a better position. He's more of a Brahmana. He was not a Kshatriya. And that is why maybe his punishment is not as great. Though that life, he was really filled with remorse because he was the cause of Sati's death. It was not just an offense. It is not simply an insult. He had even murdered his daughter in one sense. So that also, but maybe he didn't require so much of physical suffering like Ashwatthama. Maybe he was more bodily conscious, Ashwatthama. That's why. Vidya tapo vrata dharan mukata sma vipran brahmatma tattvam avitam pratamam tvam ashrak tad brahmanam parama sarva vipatsu pashi pala pashun iva vibho pragrihita danda. My dear great and powerful Lord Shiva, you were created first from the mouth of Lord Brahma, from his okay, from the mouth of Lord Brahma in order to protect the Brahmanas in pursuing education, austerities, vows, and self-realization. As protector of the Brahmanas, you always protect the regulative principles they follow, just as a cowherd boy keeps a stick in his hand to give protection to the cows. The specific function of a human being in society, irrespective of his social status, is to practice control of mind and senses by observing the regulative principles enjoined in the Vedic Shastras. Lord Shiva is called Pashupati because he protects the living entities in their developed consciousness so that they may follow the Vedic systems of Varna and Ashrama. The word Pashu refers to the animal as well as to the human entity. It is stated here that Lord Shiva is always interested in protecting the animals and animalistic living entities who are not very advanced in the spiritual sense. It is also stated that the Brahmanas are produced from the mouth of the Supreme Lord. We should always remember that Lord Shiva is being addressed as the representative of the Supreme Lord Vishnu. In the Vedic literature, it is described that the Brahmanas are born from the mouth of the universal form of Vishnu. The Kshatriyas are born from his arms, Vaishyas from his abdomen or waist, and the Shudras from his legs. In the formation of a body, the head is the principal factor. The Brahmanas are born from the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in order to accept charity for worship of Vishnu and to spread Vedic knowledge. Lord Shiva is known as Pashupati, the protector of the Brahmanas and other living entities. He protects them from the attacks of non-Brahmanas or uncultured persons who are against the self-realization process. So Shiva is also protecting Brahmanas from the attack of all these Asuric people. Another feature of this word is that persons who are simply attached to the ritualistic portion of the Vedas and do not understand the situation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are not any more advanced than animals. Those who just keep doing these sacrifices, but not about surrendering to the Lord and acting in devotion. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is confirmed that even though one performs the rituals of the Vedas, if he does not develop a sense of Krishna consciousness, then all his labor in performing Vedic rituals is considered to be simply a waste of time. We can see all these Brahmanas who are only doing these kind of ritualistic things, priests who come do perform homas. Not all of them, many of them are not purified. You'd think that all the time they're doing all these homas and all that, there are no Vedas. They should be purified, there should be sattva guna. Some of them, at least the young ones, listen to movie songs, and God knows they may be wearing other clothes also, jeans and all that. So they're not getting purified in Kali Yuga, and they keep on seeing their mobile only all the time. So that is why doesn't purify much. If he does not develop a sense of Krishna consciousness, then all his labor in performing Vedic rituals is considered to be simply a waste of time. Lord Shiva's aim in destroying the Daksha Yajna was to punish Daksha, because by neglecting him, Lord Shiva, Daksha was committing a great offense. Lord Shiva's punishment was just like that of a cowherd boy who keeps a stick to frighten his animals. It is commonly said that to give protection to animals, a stick is needed because animals cannot reason and argue. Their reasoning and argument is argumentum ad baculum. Unless there is a rod, they do not obey. Force is required for the animalistic class of men, whereas those who are advanced are convinced by reason, arguments, and scriptural authority. Persons who are simply attached to Vedic rituals without further advancement of devotional service or Krishna consciousness are almost like animals, and Lord Shiva is in charge of giving them protection and sometimes punishing them as he punished Daksha. So he's glorifying Lord Shiva, that how he's so kind to the Brahmanas as well as Brahma Bandhus, of course. And so he also protects the Brahmanas and protector of the regulative principles they follow. And he keeps a stick just to frighten them, not to really this thing, just like we heard cows with that. And protector of the Brahmanas and other living entities. He protects them from the attacks of non-Brahmanas or uncultured persons who are against the self-realization process. So at least they are in the self-realization process. They may not be perfect yet. So he protects them. And so he also gives sometimes punishment because of it as a means to correct. It was just like showing a stick to frighten the animals. And it said the reasoning and argument is, unless there is a rod, they do not obey. So for those who are not spiritually advanced, you have to, only fear works. Only if you keep a rod and say, no, you cannot do that. If you do this, you have to pay a fine. Otherwise, you'll be punished. You will not get this. This is what most people obey. That is why in ISKCON, it's so difficult to manage people. Because here we try to do Brahminical method, trying to inspire them, trying to reason with them. Please do this. We try our best. And argumentum ad baculum. Keep a stick and say, either you follow, otherwise, I mean, not really a stick, but I'm saying we have to have, like outside, they'll go and behave very nicely. But only within ISKCON, everyone, right from children, will they misbehave like the way they do in ISKCON temples, in our ISKCON programs? Children freely running around, shouting. Why should they do all that? They don't do like that. You take them to other places because they are not going to do all that. They are going to straight away punish. Either you do it, otherwise get out. Go. You are not allowed to sit here. So everybody behaves very quietly. How many hours? Here they will come and say, oh, our children cannot sit on the floor. Oh, they cannot do this. They cannot do that. All that complaints they'll put only with us. Oh, we cannot give this much money. Anything, they'll always crib over here. Because we don't keep a stick. If we kept a stick, they'll behave properly. And other places, they behave fantastically well because they keep a stick over there. So that is what he's saying, that, you need to keep a stick. So Lord Shiva himself is keeping a stick. And force is required for the animalistic class of men, whereas those who are advanced are convinced by reasons, arguments, and scriptural authority. Persons who are simply attached to Vedic rituals. That is why running a bhakti vriksha, if somebody agrees to do a bhakti vriksha and is successful in training people, then hats off to them. Because they have, in the bhakti vriksha, we have to do how Trinadapi Sunichena, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's method. Then, okay, we beg them and cajole them and somehow we try to inspire them. And then they get very angry. On top of all that, they will say, no, I'm not coming. So many things. You did like that. I don't like, because, that day they spoke like this to me. All these things only with us, they will show all that for Bhakti Vriksha people. Why? Because no stick. But
seniors are certified. The seniors who 50% problem is caused by seniors.
And so that is what, if we have to also, no, but even if the senior is very good, but some people in the beginning, they will.
Beginning people have normal programs.
Mm.
The children's behavior all is caused by the seniors. Because they see them being rebellious. Otherwise, in Sai Baba, when I went to Dubai, the other Sai Baba people came and said, what is this function of this shouting? Actually, you come and see. They said so peacefully. Example is there. They see peaceful example.
Yeah, everybody is disciplined in the other groups because they've got this, they all follow. They follow because of fear. Yeah, out of fear.
Fear, there is no fear, but they're also nothing. All the groups are very happy.
No, but if they misbehave, they'll get it. They will get it.
They will get it. Doesn't even exist.
Yeah, but still, see, okay, example is one thing, but example with, because when people come in the beginning, they're not well behaved. Okay, I'm talking of beginning people. And how they misbehave, and the children will start shouting and screaming and running around, and people also, they do whatever they feel like.
Ask them who's in other groups before. They can say,
For anybody coming from other groups who were there in some other groups, like Tarak Prabhu is not here, otherwise he was in Art of Living. He would have shared.
He was also said, all this never happened with him.
Yeah, because they will not tolerate all this. He's here, Tarak Prabhu. How is it in Art of Living? They keep a concealed stick, right? I mean, some norms and all that.
Yes, Mataji.
What is how do they manage that everybody sits quietly and peacefully and don't misbehave? How is it?
Prior to the thing, they make them do the pranayams, Mataji. So everything is like it's controlled and they are at peace.
No, but suppose in spite of that somebody misbehaves, then
No,
what
I mean,
happens?
the person who is sitting next to the person, he will keep monitoring. So everybody monitors each other.
So there are some norms that we give. You have to behave like this. And suppose in spite of that somebody is a little rebellious, and there'll always be some people, black sheep here and there. So how do they treat them? What happens to such a person?
They keep on talking to him one-on-one. They'll spend time with him. They'll keep on talking to him till he doesn't comes out of that groove, that negativity.
Okay, that's a good thing. That's what we do in Bhakti Vriksha, that we talk to people and do that. So it takes time. And but apart from Art of Living, there are other groups also now. They
See, this people came and complained in Dubai. They said, they said, it is not out of fear.
Then out of?
Same thing like this.
They talk to them. Okay, then that is what we have to notice, and maybe talk to them, take the effort. Maybe that is the thing we need to do. Yeah, if we that's what we have to be more conscious of these things, that that everyone has to behave properly, that we talk to them. We just don't leave it like that, sweep it under the carpet. Devotees like to not even admit that there is any mistake. That is one thing. I don't know why we do that. We like to just overlook everything, maybe. Or, I don't know, we don't want to take so much trouble to talk to people. That is one thing. I don't know why. What is the reason? Why we don't like to talk to people and counsel them, or take care of them? That is the most important thing in making a person see, the sadhana process is there, but Shiva is there as a someone who's guiding the flock. You need a stick so that people will behave properly. Or we need to, stick is only a figurative term. It's not for beating, but it could be in any way. We talk to them, we convince them, we try to correct them. We have to make sure that everyone behaves properly, ideally, because we have come for the self-realization process. We're all in the process of becoming Brahmanas. Prabhupada said the the movement of ISKCON is to convert everyone into Brahmanas. So, if, if everyone has to become Brahmanas, then we have to convince them, right? We have to talk to them. And of course, through association, they learn. But you even from the beginning, we can ensure that, they don't misbehave. So that way, yeah, we need that. Argumentum ad baculum. Okay, little bit fear also that, I don't know in what way the others, this thing, fear of losing Krishna consciousness, or it's not the acceptable way to behave. Something we have to make sure that everyone is very, very disciplined. A simple thing like putting chappals in the right place. If somebody stands there and tells people, please, it is not acceptable, put it in the right place, and you have to do it. If we enforce, they will do it. So it is up to us. We also have to become very disciplined and make sure that there is order, that the people do follow everything. That's, yes. As is
Mataji,
the thing, we are
Hare
not
Krishna,
doing.
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Mataji.
Krishna.
Mataji, it's
Yes.
like how we Indians, Mataji, when we are abroad or in some other place in America, or we follow all the rules. The same Indian who comes to India, he says, chalo, no problem, we'll go in the wrong way.
Yeah.
It-
So we have to take it up on ourselves. So we have to correct, right? We have to, it's a big hard work, but we have to do that. At least the first generation, we have to train them like that so that successively they'll follow. Like small things like, put we've got shoe rack there. Please put it in the racks. There has to be someone standing there in the beginning, until it becomes a habit. Everybody sees all neatly stacked, they will also do. Otherwise, just you leave it to them, they don't bother. They just throw the chappals anywhere, make a big cluster. Why? So that's what, right from that. And then seating arrangement, we tell them, please move, please move. They won't move. There'll be some glue over there. We can tell them, no, please move. And we have to be a little bit more enforcing. We are trying to, we act like, they are doing us a great favor by even coming for the program. That is why they act like that. They think you dare not open your mouth, otherwise I'll stop coming for your program. This is the attitude. So we have to change our attitudes that please, you follow everything. We shouldn't be afraid to tell them everything. We are so apologetic about ourselves because we are attached to numbers. Now, if the numbers stop coming, then what will happen? So we run after them. Please, please come, do whatever you want. Please come. So what will they think about us? They'll think you're so desperate. I'm doing a great charity on you by even coming for your program. That is what, that's why we don't correct them. But we have to take the difficulty, the trouble to correct people, okay, in a nice way. But you have to follow it. Otherwise, so from the beginning, if you say that, then everybody will start doing. They all like that. Everybody likes discipline. But if nobody is watching, they don't want to do. That is how you can see in the traffic signals also. If nobody is there, nobody follows any signal and all. Policeman is not there, they just this thing. But why? But if the policeman is there, it's good. Everybody follows, and once it becomes a habit, they will like it. They like to be disciplined. So we have to do that, like how Shiva is doing for the Brahmanas, because we are supposed to be Brahmanas. ISKCON is not some other this thing. It is a Brahminical place, and there, if you don't behave like Brahmanas, like Shudras, which throw chappals anywhere, throw the plate somewhere, then don't keep things. Keep it all dirty. Then how is it Brahminical? So we have to keep a stick and say, no, please clean it up. Please do it. We have to be. This is, I think that's what we need, more stick exercises, and make sure that everyone follows. Then it'll be ideal. Otherwise, they'll be Brahma Bandhus only, friend of the Brahmanas. Like we have folk now, friends of Lord Krishna. That's the title. You're not a devotee, you're a friend of Lord Krishna. That's all. Brahma Bandhu. So we need to do that. Yeah, that is our austerity. To train people is our austerity. We should not think, I just want to come for the program, enjoy myself, do whatever I feel like. Whatever service I enjoy doing, I'll do, and then I'll just chit chat, socialize, and go. If we only want that level of Krishna consciousness, then nobody will improve. The people who come also, they will also remain in the same way, simply just superficial changes. Deep down, if you want them to really, because we are a group, what is ISKCON? It's a self-realization program, not simply come, sing, dance, enjoy, and go. Okay, instead of going mode of passion entertainment, I'm not going to the theater, I'm not eating all those things. I'm coming here. This is mode of goodness entertainment. That is okay in the beginning. But after that, we are very serious business people. We want people to progress in self-realization. And after somebody takes initiation, that's it. We think they're already in the spiritual world. We don't bother to check what they're doing even. But it is not, everyone needs checking right up to the time. Even sannyasis required. How many sannyasis have fallen down? Because they think, sannyasi is the master of everyone. I mean, like, he's the leader of society. No need to take care of him. They also require, everybody requires devotee care, because at least they require to be taken care of in their health. They require that. Sometimes they also require some emotional care also, because all alone going everywhere and nobody giving them any care. Everyone else has their families, friends, and all. Sannyasi is supposed to wander around alone preaching. So he doesn't have any friend also, in the sense, material friend. I mean, someone who will take care of him. So emotionally also, sometimes they become very lonely. That is why then some woman comes and all that, then they fall for that. That is Prabha Vishnu Swami, that was his case. That Prabha Vishnu Swami was a very nice sannyasi. He's done a lot of preaching. He used to go to Russia and all and preach, Europe, everywhere he was going. And Australia, I think also, I'm not sure. But okay, in these two places, yes. And then what happened? To Thailand and all these places. So that is where what happened. He was feeling a little lonely, because that's what he confessed. And that he didn't have association, his peer association. There was nobody to give him that kind of care they really require, because Maya is very strong in Kali Yuga. And so what happened in Thailand, there was this Matthews. I don't know how he came across her somewhere, or maybe she attended a program and something. She started serving him, this, that, and then he fell down. But if the care is there, always taking care of everyone, somebody would have noticed, now something is wrong. Why is doing this? Why is he going there? Someone would have noticed. But then they would have turned a blind eye. No, it's not my job. Maybe everyone thinks it's not my job. Why I should do? We should do. It is my job to see that Cain and Abel story in Christianity. There were two brothers, Cain and Abel, and Cain was killed by Abel, I think. And then he happily acted as if nothing is wrong and he went. And then the Lord asked, where is your brother Cain? So he said, why are you asking me? I'm not my brother's keeper. Yeah, he said, you are, you are your brother's keeper. We are all keepers of each other. Krishna wants that we are all like brothers and sisters helping one another. Not saying I'm not responsible for anyone. we don't even take care of ourselves. So what, I can take care of others. This kind of attitude is very bad. And that is precisely the antithesis of that is Bhakti Vriksha program. So few people are ready to even start Bhakti Vrikshas because they don't want this kind of heavy duty training. But you become a Bhakti Vriksha program leader, then that is fast paced. Now you can't just relax and just coast along. Sundays I go for program, then I come back. That's it. I'm a devotee. I go every Sunday for program and I come back. So we think we are very nice devotees. But Bhakti Vriksha is not like that. No. You have to take care of the people. You have to be concerned. You have to counsel them. You have to serve them. I mean, you become like a caretaker for them and be responsible. Mini guru, actually. Not guru takes your karma and all. Bhakti Vriksha leaders are like a Siksha guru. The minute you do that, then you become a beautiful entity. It's totally different from others. That is why before, some people used to say, you Bhakti Vriksha people, you're always talking Bhakti Vriksha, and you all huddle together. But no, Bhakti Vriksha, because it changes one's personality completely. So naturally, all Bhakti Vriksha leaders are like one type, and the others are another type. They are in one enjoying mood. They don't want to do too much, just as much as, it's comfortable. But Bhakti Vriksha people are not like that. They are sitting and meditating 24 hours how to preach, how to help this one, that one. Their talks are also only about that. They will only talk about devotionals. How to make this one devotee, that one devotee, how to help this one, that one, all the time. How you people are only talking about all that? That is what. You become totally a different character. That a Bhakti Vriksha devotee is only a representative of Lord Chaitanya's movement. Other people are also there, they do something, but not that they cannot appreciate Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as much as someone doing Bhakti Vriksha. Because the mood totally changes. One of service, one of care, one of love, one of selflessness. And if you want Krishna Prema, you have to do Bhakti Vriksha. Otherwise, be ready for many, many, many years of just coasting along and many births also. How will you become Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's representative unless you do Bhakti Vriksha? The real Bhakti Vriksha, not a Namahata type of Bhakti Vriksha. Come, I'll take a class. Bye. Until next week, goodbye. Next week you come and then I take a class. Goodbye. Then again next week. And then it slowly starts dwindling and dwindling and dwindling. Started with 10, 12 people, then 2 people. That's what will happen. Because it's not in the mood of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bhakti Vriksha is completely in the mood of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that is why it just refines us very much. We become Brahmanas very fast by doing Bhakti Vriksha. Because we are, first of all, more interested in spiritual preaching. Preaching itself is Brahmanical. Those who are not Brahmanas only will, okay, not Brahmana by this thing, they're not interested in teaching, preaching. All they want to do is, okay, I will do other physical services. If you want to be a Brahmana, you jolly well preach. It doesn't mean by the job you do. It is by your consciousness. You may be doing other services like cooking, gardening, whatever other things. Even a sculptor, painter, whatever, all are doing service. It's all transcendental. But you may say, I'm happy with that job. Why I have to preach? No. If you want to be a really qualified Brahmanical in nature, then you have to preach, because that's a fast track. Guru Maharaj says that if you do preaching, then very quickly your sins and offenses will all be burnt out and you'll become purified. So why we should not want that? Why we should be attached to, because if you don't preach, you're attached to your physical comfort. It is very nice. I relax, I do whatever I want, I do whenever I want, as much as I want. Why I should take the headache of other people? That means that anytime they might call you, they'll tell their woes to you, and you have to listen and preach, all sorts of things. I don't like all disturbance. Phone calls coming at all odd hours and telling I'm in trouble, give me help and all that. I will do my sadhana. I'll do whatever I want. I will go whenever I want. I'll do some service and come back. So that is selfishness. How are you Brahmanical? That is all Vaishya Buddhi. People only will be in that mode. If you want to advance, Kshatriya and Brahmana. Bhakti Vriksha leaders are also Kshatriyas, because Kshatriyas are involved in also physically taking care of people, protecting them, giving them help. That also Bhakti Vriksha leader does not just give spiritual advice and goes away, or spiritual care. He also gives other cares, like a Kshatriya does, protection care, physical care, emotional care. So it is Brahmana, also Kshatriya, Bhakti Vriksha. If you want to be Vaishya Buddhi person, then okay, don't do Bhakti Vriksha.
Hello.
So we need to really, I mean, this is the need of the hour. We have to do Bhakti Vriksha. Automatically, it refines a person, and then they become such beautiful, sweet devotees, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted. The mood of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can be tasted only among those who are doing Bhakti Vrikshas. That the wanting to serve people, wanting to take care of people, feeling satisfied and happy about other people's success. That only a person who is doing Bhakti Vriksha in the proper mood, he has. Even if they're competitive and all that, that is not Bhakti Vriksha. If you want to stop the suffering of other people, and you feel very happy to cooperate with others in taking care of people, when your heart moves to see the suffering of people and you want to really help them, then you have to do Bhakti Vriksha. Such a Bhakti Vriksha person who is doing properly is like that. And that is what Bhakti Vinod Thakur has predicted, that Krishna consciousness is going to spread all over the world only through, he said Namahatta, but it's the same as Bhakti Vriksha. He didn't name it Bhakti Vriksha, but this is what he meant. Only through this it's going to spread, not by building more and more and more temples. That's what these Muslims do. In Saudi Arabia and the Gulf and all, they have a lot of money. So every street will have one big mosque. Hardly anybody. How many people? There are not so many. They think if I want construct one mosque, then I pleased Allah and that's it. So it is, if you have to talk to people, that's the most difficult thing. Preach to them, tell them what to do. If we can do that much, that is enough to give us highest perfection. Simply preaching. Because we are meant to be Brahmanas. Otherwise, we are not Brahmanas. You may be born in a Brahmin family, or you may be chanting and doing other, okay, I do deity worship and all that. Still, you're not Brahmana, because you'll still have lot of these material, this thing, anartha sticking to our mind. Only when we do Bhakti Vriksha, we are really, okay, there is a difference between Bhakti Vriksha devotees and non-Bhakti Vriksha. Non-Bhakti Vriksha people may not like to admit, and they may get angry with us. You're very puffed up and proud. Okay, you also do now. We're not saying we will do, you should not do. Everybody should do it because it's in the mood of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, thank you very much, Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments?
Mataji, just I want to have a clarity. You said we need to do only Bhakti Vriksha. We should not try to open temples. Like how I need to
No, I
understand
didn't say
Mataji.
anything like that. I'm just saying that you concentrate on simply opening temples without preaching to them. What's the point? That's all I said. I didn't say you should never open temples.
That's what I got confused. That's the reason I want to clarify, Mataji.
Oh, this is recorded on top of that. Okay, good. You asked for clarification. Otherwise, somebody will brand me a fanatic who's saying that no temples, only Bhakti Vriksha. No, I'm not saying that. Ravan said, Eko aham dvitiyo nasti, na bhuto na bhavishyati. That's what.
Mataji, Hare Krishna. Please accept my
Thank you.
hand.
Yes, Vasantraga.
Mataji,
Please accept.
Bhakti Vriksha concept itself is a, it's a, what you say, Mataji? It's a boon for us, like, where we can purify ourselves totally top to bottom, because of the, especially physical Bhakti Vriksha, Mataji. Nowadays, after Corona, everything has become, even Bhakti Vriksha also, they are doing online now.
But at least once in a way you should meet. Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Muscat,
no, physical Bhakti
we all
Vrikshas.
experience that concept of physical Bhakti Vrikshas, really wonderful program, Mataji.
How much change it had, no, on the people?
Yes, Mataji. I mean, both sides, Mataji. We also will be purified, and simultaneously the members also will be advanced, like the problems what we are facing.
Everyone.
Through that, we also will be
yes,
purifying for us.
And the love, the selfless love, how can we experience that unless we do that?
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. That program itself is like, otherwise only going to temple and getting knowledge or getting service, it's very difficult for each and everybody. One temple may be there or two temples may be there. But if you have a Bhakti Vriksha, each house will become a temple. Like,
And the
it's very
personal
easy.
care,
Yeah,
personal
personal
care
care.
is the one which is missing.
Yes, Mataji. It's easy for the people to walk in nearby places, like,
Mm. See, okay, that is physical accessibility. And even if you are visiting a temple, just going to temple is not enough, because you cannot get personal care among hundreds of people. You need a small, like a family is required in a society, right? Family who takes care of full top to bottom, A to Z. And then you go for other social, you're part of a society also. That loving care we need to experience.
Yes.
Even ISKCON, because Bhakti Vriksha is a new program, last how many? 25, no. Yeah, 25 years
30
or
years.
30 years. 30 years of 30 years of Bhakti Vriksha. And because of that, there is no devotee care. Devotee care they had been made one committee and all that. We were going there to discuss, and then finally somebody non-devotee care person, not Bhakti Vriksha person, who wanted to take over and dominate. So it went into their hands, and now no devotee care only in ISKCON. Really, there is no devotee care. And Guru Maharaj said once Prabhupada came in, or he spoke to him in a dream, or when he was praying to Prabhupada in the Samadhi in Mayapur, Prabhupada said that you please promote devotee care in ISKCON. And once they were all talking, they gave a speech during one of those devotee care, during these Gaur Purnima celebrations. One of the program we had was all the senior sannyasis on stage. They were discussing about devotee care, and each one was telling, and they admitted, I don't know why we don't have devotee care in ISKCON. We don't know why. They don't know. Because the concept you cannot enforce when you are just coming and going, singing, dancing, listening, eating and going. Where is the care? No one even knows about each other. Just I know the devotee, sometimes even name we don't know. I can, when I see the devotee, I recognize. I don't know where he or she lives, what is his job, what are his problems. I don't know anything. So where is the care? Okay. Thank you all very much. It's the greatest yajna. Sankirtana yajna for other people we do. It's the best yajna possible, and it will really give us all blessings, everything. And the mood especially of being humble and surrendered, submissive, cooperative, everything that other people are struggling to get. Through Bhakti Vriksha program, we can easily get it all. Cooperative mood, everyone helping together, everyone in a service mood. Only Bhakti Vriksha program has that. Very easily we can do that. Okay, now we go for prayers.